Hey everyone, so as you saw in my shorts mini series, I have the displays up. These are the updated displays. And now, without further ado, we're going to go into a little tour of what I've got displayed up here. All right, let's get into it. So we're going to start this tour with the Star Wars shelf. We're going to go left to right, top to bottom. So starting off up here, we have the most recent Snowspeeder. As you can see, I've had this for a while, and there is a lot of yellowing, especially compared to those pieces up there, which is unfortunate. I could probably take it apart, but it might be more of a hassle than it would be to just leave it together and deal with the yellowing. I don't know. Maybe I'll clean it up in the future. But this was the third UCS set that I ever gotten. I have that displayed right next to the buildable child. This is Grogu. Of course, they had not gotten his name out before this set was released, so it's just called The Child. But I do really like this set. I really like his cute face and his posable ears. Right next to that, I have the buildable Droideka. I'm thinking maybe I'll move this somewhere else as more sets get released and as I get more sets, but we'll have to wait and see. Next to that, I have the very first UCS set that I ever got. This is the UCS TIE Fighter from 2015. And I know it's simple, it's just a TIE Fighter, as most people probably saw it, but I really like this set. The build quality is just super sturdy, super solid. When I was driving it down here, it did fall off one of the seats, and literally nothing fell off of it. It's just such a good build, and I really like the TIE Fighter. Again, this was the first UCS set that I ever got, so it kind of holds a special place in my heart. It was also a Christmas gift from my parents, so there's that as well. Next to that, I have the more recent TIE Interceptor. Also really like this set. I really like how well these two sets display next to each other. They're they were made several years apart, but they look like they were made to be displayed right next to each other, so that's how I have it, and I think it looks really awesome. Moving on, we have the UCS R2D2. This one was just retired recently after the smaller R2D2 got released, and I know most people prefer that one. I still really like this one though. I like the size of it. I like the posability. I like all the play features that it has. I like that everything is fit inside of it. Unlike the new one, which you have to remove stuff to add all of the tools that R2 carries with him. Next to that, this is the second UCS set that I had ever gotten. This is the Red 5 X-Wing Starfighter. I got this back in high school and had these two, the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing, displayed next to each other, which I really liked because it was like a Rebels versus Empire in terms of the standard starships that they had going up against each other. I really liked how they displayed right next to each other. Moving on down here, there is a very big open shelf for a set that I currently have that I have had since it basically went out of sale in November and retired. That's actually going to be in my next build series, my next short build series. I'm really excited to crack that set open because I've had it since November, I guess, whenever I had gotten it. And I have not opened it since then. I have not even broken the seals. So I'm really excited to get that open, get that displayed right here. Next to that, this is just a placeholder. I have plans for what I want to put here, so I've measured everything out and put these shelves in a orientation that allows for the thing that I want to go here, although I probably won't be getting it for a while because it is a fairly expensive set and it is retired. So yeah, that's a little bit unfortunate, but is what it is. Right now I have in its place the 2007 Star Destroyer, and this is one that I got as a kid for Christmas, again from my parents. This was a set that I was super excited when I uh, opened it for Christmas. Something that I actually remember opening for Christmas because I was just that excited when I was little. Um, I've added a few things to it when I was younger because that's something that I used to do. So I might take those extra pieces off just to make it more as it was. as the set was actually supposed to be built. But there is a lot of dust on it, so I really need to probably even scrub those pieces down at this point to get the dust removed. Right below that, um, couldn't really fit much here, so I just put the Starship sets that I have. Um, Big fan of Star Destroyers, so I really like the Super Star Destroyer, especially since I don't have the UCS one. Um, Invisible Hand, also a great set, and the Millennium Falcon. Surprisingly, as big of a Star Wars fan as I am, this is the only Millennium Falcon set that I own. Hopefully, I can change that in the future. Again, right next to that, big open space. Didn't really want to put another shelf here because it was going to crowd everything and make it tough, but I do have plans for something that will go here eventually. Again, same with this section. Probably won't be filling that for a while because it's just going to be so expensive. Lego is really expensive, let's be honest. Below that, I have all of my clone and droids set up together. Again, kind of like how I had the X-Wing and TIE Fighter when I was at home set up next to each other. I like having the two sides right next to each other to kind of compare the two. So you can see a lot of these are kind of newer sets for the clone side. And then I had a lot of older droid sets, especially that MTT that everyone loves, including myself. I remember getting that from Toys R Us. I'd saved up my money from working for my parents, pulling weeds, making any money that I could from them. And then my mom took me to Toys R Us to spend that money, and this set was available, and I had enough money to buy it, and I bought it. And I built it in the same way with this Star Destroyer. I was very young, and uh, Lego instructions back then were a little bit more difficult to follow, so I did make a few mistakes. But I'm still very happy to still own this and still have it in great condition. So this is the Star Wars side so far. Again, I have more room up top. I really want to keep that as an area for starships, um, smaller starships like the X-Wing and TIE fighters. I'm thinking maybe putting more Rebel starships on this side, maybe the UCS A-Wing, and I know the B-Wing is kind of big, so I'm not sure if it'll fit up there, but we'll see. That's kind of what I have planned for what's going up there. I really hope that they make an updated UCS Vader's TIE Advanced, because it would fit perfectly with these two sets to go right up there, or maybe I could swap some sets around. Either way, having a updated UCS Vader's TIE Advance would be awesome. And a TIE Bomber just to round it out. I really like the TIE Bomber, and I would really think that all four sets would look awesome if they were to make those last two sets together. That's just kind of what I'm hoping for, and plans for the future. Of course, things are subject to change, but yeah, that is the Star Wars side for now. And we'll move over now to the Lord of the Rings side. Okay, so now we're moving on to the Lord of the Rings section. Lord of the Rings is one of my favorite movie franchises, same with Star Wars. So that's why I'm happy that LEGO has made both themes and I can display all of them together. Same thing, we're going to start left to right, top to bottom. So we'll start over here in this big section with the Tower of Orthanc. This is a set that I've had for a long time. I remember building it at like 2 in the morning because I was just so excited to get this set done, and it was taking so long for me back in middle school. Was really happy that I was able to bring it down here, especially to display it right next to Barad-dûr. Another common issue with these old Lord of the Rings sets is the brown pieces. There are a lot of them in these sets. So I'm very nervous to touch them. As you can see, I have Treebeard's leg here because unfortunately as I was moving him, the ball joint broke and some other pieces broke as I was trying to take that off. So he currently is missing his left leg. I'm going to have to replace those pieces, which is really unfortunate, but it is what it is. Can't really do much about it. Here's the eagle and the Uruk-hai and orc. Of course, Grima Wormtongue, Saruman, and Gandalf that come with this set. Really fantastic set and really holds up considering it was probably almost 10 years ago now, more than that, that this set was released. So right next to that, I have Barad-dûr. So this set, of course, was released last summer. And I did have it was the first build series that I ever did. So you guys can go watch that episode by episode. This is on my shorts for YouTube Shorts. So if you guys want to go watch that, it'll be in my channel. Of course, we have Frodo and Sam. I like that they have their helmets. I wish that they had more beat up prints for their torsos because they were not this clean after traveling all the way across Middle Earth to Mount Doom. Then we have Gollum, of course, the very first Sauron figure, Mouth of Sauron, Gothmog, and then a bunch of orc figures. Really, really great figures. Really awesome set. Really happy to have this, especially displayed next to the Tower of Orthanc. These two sets look awesome together. Just need to get Treebeard fixed up, and this display is looking great. So next to that, we have the Rivendell set. This was the most recent build series that I had done. Again, on my channel, you guys can go check that out if you want to see this built bag by bag. This set is really fantastic with the vibrant colors, just especially compared to Orthanc and Barad-dûr. This is just completely different in terms of the colors and the architecture and the openness, because Barad-dûr is very, very closed off as a tower, and this is very open. You can see right through the back. There are a lot of fantastic details that were implemented. And of course, we get so many great figures. I don't need to name all of them. I'm sure you guys know. But I like how this is displayed up here, right next to those. And then right next to that, right below it, we have the Battle of Helm's Deep. And I put because I had two Uruk-hai army sets. I thought this set looked significantly better with the wall extended this far with two of those sets, so I got two of them and displayed them, of course, with the big set itself. I was kind of conflicted whether I wanted to display this as each set would be displayed individually as an individual set, or like this when they are meant to be combined, if I should just combine everything and make it one big scene. I chose to combine everything just because I think it looks a lot better. Of course, with that, you get the ballistas, all these extra Uruk-hai. I actually bought 2 extra Uruk-hai to make the scene a little bit bigger when I was younger, so I actually have 2 more Uruk-hai than would normally come if you were to get all of these sets together. And then in the back there, that is the Uruk-hai and Ballista polybag. I had gotten that recently just to round out the collection. And again, Haldir and Gimli and Aragorn. And all of the Rohan horses and figures, of course, Theoden and Eomer. Right below that, these are the most recent sets that came out. I did buy this on day 1, so I got the Smeagol and Deagol gift with purchase. And this is going to be where the Shire goes. Measured it out already so that the shelves are at the right height. Oop, some figures have fallen over. But anyway, I'll fix that later. This is the Elrond polybag and the Frodo polybag, and of course the gift with purchase that you got with Barad-dûr. I am missing one of the pieces for the tongue. I don't know where that piece went. I was making a stop motion video with this set and I lost that piece somehow, so I'm gonna have to figure out where to get that clip piece to put the tongue back, but it is what it is at this point. No secret, like my next build series, this will be the one after I finish the Star Wars build series, which I have not revealed yet. That reveal will be coming later this week. All right, next to that, we have the Corsair pirate ship, which is an awesome set also. All of these are amazing sets. This is one that I was nervous to transport just because of how wide this set is, and of course there's a lot of those brown and dark brown pieces. The entire hull of the ship is a big, just three big brown pieces. So was really nervous that those would crack or break. And then of course the sails, something that I really didn't want to get wrinkled or punctured as I was transporting them. So I had to be really careful with that. Of course, the Ghost minifigures are incredible. Legolas, Aragorn, and Gimli, plus the antagonists. Next to that, this is a set that my sister got me for Christmas. This is the Black Gate, of course, with another eagle. Same thing with the brown pieces. I'm really nervous about these pieces breaking. But another fantastic set from that era with Gandalf the White and Aragorn in his king outfit and the very first Mouth of Sauron figure. So again, these two sets look great next to each other. Right below that, I don't like displaying anything on the floor, but I am running out of room, and these sets actually look nice. Down here, it's easy to see all of them. I have the Mines of Moria set, with the only set back then that had Boromir in it. This is a kind of an interesting set because you have to kind of align everything to display them in the correct orientation as it was in the movie. They don't really have connecting plates to put them all in the right spot. And then there are a bunch of these loose weapons all over the floor. So when I was younger, I'm surprised I didn't lose any of these when I was younger, because these are small pieces that have nowhere to attach when setting this all up the way I had it set up when I was younger. Then right next to that, we have the Wizard Battle. This is a very small set. I really like the printed Eye of Sauron piece for the Palantir. And of course, we have Gandalf and Saruman. And then the original Rivendell set with the original Elrond minifigure. Really simple set, but really nice to have in the collection. And next to that, we have the one that started it all, Gandalf Arrives. This is a really, really nice, simple, but really effective set. I really like the build of Gandalf's carriage. Just looks really, really nice. And again, it's very simple, but just it gets the job done and looks really nice. Small set, but I really like it. Oh, I forgot this shelf. We have the Orc Forge. Again, I remember getting this set with my family. We were out for the day. I think we were out uh, for a little trip to a museum, I think, and we ended up going to Target for some reason. I forget why, but this set was there, and it was the only set that I didn't have of the current Lord of the Rings line back then. And I had a little bit of money, so of course I had to buy it, and I was super excited because that completed the collection. And I really liked how this at the time was the only set, because I think that the Tower of Orthanc hadn't come out yet. I'm not 100% sure on that, but this was the only set that had these printed armor pieces for the Uruk-hai, so that was very unique for that, and of course Lurtz. But when I was younger, I made a stop motion movie with this, and I still remember how the movie went. It's a 1 minute video, but I worked really hard on that. And then, of course, it was on an iPod Touch, fourth generation, so the first iPod Touch that had a camera. But I worked on that stop motion video, and then, of course, my iPod Touch went through the wash, and now I don't have that video anymore, which is really unfortunate. But again, this entire set has a ton of brown pieces, which I'm really nervous about. Of course, it's Lego, so I could always replace the parts, but it's just going to be frustrating and annoying if things start falling apart, especially since there is some great printing on some of these pieces. I can't afford to have those break because I don't know if they have any of those printed parts in the better, more reinforced brown pieces. Next to that, we have Attack on Withertop. This was, I think, one of the weaker sets that came out of this line. I think most people didn't really like it. Of course, it came with the original Ring Wraiths. As we can see, this is the newer Ring Wraith versus the older ones. Aragorn with a torch, Frodo and Merry, and the build was okay. Definitely could have done better with this build, but again, I was just happy to have this in my collection because it rounds everything off. Next to that, we have the Shelob set, and I don't know about you guys, but I don't like spiders, so having this set is a little but again, the brown pieces make me very nervous, but still a really fun set to have. I have to figure out where that piece goes. I have not figured that out yet. I need to go look at the instructions, but of course it came with Sam, Gollum, and Frodo. And finally, on the last shelf at the bottom, these are Hobbit sets. I wasn't a big fan of the Hobbit movies. I think Lord of the Rings was significantly better. The Hobbit books, or the Hobbit book, I should say, there's only one, was the only book that I actually read of these. So when the movie came out, An Unexpected Journey came out, I was really excited for that and really let down because of how much stuff they just crammed in. And it was really obvious to me because I had actually read the books and I knew what was supposed to be happening and what wasn't supposed to be happening. So it was really distracting when I was watching those movies. But despite that, I do have 3 of those sets. Really like this small set, even though it is from that movie. It's from one of the better scenes in that movie, with the riddles in the dark, where Bilbo gets the ring from Gollum, and of course has to play riddles to save his own life. Next to that, we have the original Bag End. I think this was called An Unexpected Gathering. This was a set that my mom actually got me for Christmas, and she had gotten it for me knowing that all of us were disappointed with the Hobbit movies, but she really liked the way it looked because it was pretty different, especially considering all of these other sets were a lot darker in tone. And this was the only kind of green and vibrant one. And then, of course, Bag End is a very iconic location. So she really liked it and thought it would look really nice. And I mean, I agree with her. It does look really nice. So I'm pretty happy that my mom actually got me that set for Christmas when I was younger. Despite it being from a movie that all of us agreed was not very good, or a movie series, I should say, because they did spread it out, which is one of the issues. And then I don't even remember what this set was called, but it is the spider attack in the forest of Mirkwood, with these smaller spiders and Legolas, and I forgot the dwarf's name. That's another issue with those movies, but that's another thing entirely, another separate issue entirely. But those are the only Hobbit sets that I have. The rest of these are Lord of the Rings sets, and they are every Lord of the Rings set that's ever been released. Can't wait to build the Shire and Smeagol and Deagol, because that'll just round everything off, make it look fantastic. Other than BrickHeadz, I don't have the BrickHeadz because I'm not a big fan of BrickHeadz, but at this point I might get them just to say that I have every single Lego Lord of the Rings set, including BrickHeadz, ever released. And I know there is a Battle of Helm's Deep game. I might get that as well, just as, again, to say that I have all of the sets, but we'll see. As of right now, all of these standard sets I do have, and they are all displayed together for once, because I actually have enough room to display them all together. So I'm really happy with how this looks. I'm really happy with how everything came together. I was really surprised at how well Helm's Deep holds its own compared to the big 3, Tower of Orthanc, Barad-dûr, and Rivendell. I was not expecting Helm's Deep to look this nice, and it really captures my eye on this display. in a way that I did not think it would. Because I remember it being a bigger set, but definitely nowhere near the size of these three. And when I'm looking at this display, it really does capture my eye, I should say. And again, in a way that I did not think it would, and it really holds its own with those three sets. So above that, I do have the Disney Castle and a bunch of other Disney displays because I don't have room or any other shelves to display those on. I would like to separate everything into Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, maybe Disney, and I have the custom Brickmania sets. But I don't have enough room for that right now, so we'll have to see what I can do to kind of clear everything up to make this Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. So, yeah, that is the walkthrough of the current Lord of the Rings and Star Wars displays that I have, with a little bit of Disney thrown in. So, hope you guys enjoyed as much as I do putting these together and being able to see all of these sets built and together. Other than the tree beard over there, I do have to fix that. But yeah, that's going to wrap this video up. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.